of the most important things that we're here to do on this planet, over getting lost in the physical experiences and the things that occur to us, getting identified with the stories of our lives and with the events that occur in our lives, is the evolution of the soul through those experiences. And so each one of our experiences provides us an opportunity in order to embody our most expansive self. And we learn as a fractal of a greater whole through this organism how to embody the greatest peace, the greatest well-being, the greatest balance, the most longevity and vitality for the physical organism, which is achieved through the balance of the emotions and through conscious awareness on multiple dimensions. As human beings, our ability to awaken our consciousness plays a huge role in the collective awakening because we are interconnected, because we are one. In this series of meditations, we will spend 30 days to train ourselves together every single day in activating our multidimensional body, in embodying our highest expression. And we do so with a meditation practice that allows us to reconnect, to activate DNA, to activate the aspects of ourselves in the multidimensional body realm that allow us to activate our superpowers and our inner wisdom, that guidance with the whole, with the collective, so that we can begin to pull away from deception, from confusion, from loneliness, from suffering. And the whole purpose of this series and for the work and the existence of my work is to assist you in ending suffering. Ending suffering in a way where you understand what suffering is, the mechanics behind suffering, why we suffer, the structure of our reality and the role that it plays in our suffering, and how our unconsciousness and the miseducation of what we are as humans contributes to the continued suffering of yourself and the human race. Our ability to manifest on the highest dimensional plane is only available through the activation of our awareness on these planes, through the ability to activate the multidimensional body and to begin to reunite with all that is, with Source, with the infinite that we are. And we are a fractal of that infinite consciousness. Through the physical body, we have the ability to activate in our body the genetics that allow us to embody this communication with the greater consciousness and intelligences that revolve around us. They are a reflection of us. They are us. And while we continue to embody lower vibrational aspects of ourselves, we continue to experience and to counter-create experiences that again end in suffering. So the idea with this series is to begin to understand very deeply how we contribute to our own suffering and how we can begin to slowly reintegrate fragments of ourselves that were programmed since childhood in order to pull away from what is truth, what is natural, what is divine, what is in alignment with creation and with the natural laws of the universe. So for today's class, the first aspect of what we're going to be discussing is our training in becoming aware of our multidimensional body. When we ground ourselves to the center of the earth, it is just an imagery, but what we are usually and most importantly training is our ability to embody the present moment. We have heard many people talk of embodying the present moment. The present moment becomes available to us when we have let go of any judgments of the future or the past, so that we can fully engage in what is occurring in that now. And this now, through the laws of creation and through understanding the mechanics of creation, is really the only place that the human can create from. It is the only place that we have the ability to navigate with complete sovereignty, with awareness, and to apply the free will that the human has. We are incapable of applying our free will if we are unconscious of ourselves. The idea of grounding is one tool that allows the human to pull out of this general hypnosis that we share, the collective hypnosis. The collective hypnosis that we practice leaving our bodies. The majority of us are usually hovering above the bodies because the body has become a battle zone, a war zone of dualities. a war zone in which conflicting thoughts, emotions that have not been processed, emotions that have been rejected and not accepted, aspects of ourselves that we reject and we deny. This is the battleground that is created in the physical body that allows us to reject what we are, and that will block us from seeing what we can be and what we are capable of embodying, which is a very powerful engine of creation. In this dynamic interaction and dance with our surroundings, if we continue to create warlike zones with the experiences that are around us, the body begins to self-destruct. It begins to break down physically, mentally, and emotionally. And therefore, in order to avoid this kind of deep suffering in the physical, we want to reverse that kind of thinking into an aspect of growth, nurturing, safety within the physical body. How do you create safety within the physical body? You become acquainted with the emotions that cause the most pain. You begin to no longer judge the emotions that cause the most pain. You no longer judge, so that you are not compartmentalizing your reality and creating disassociation between what you believe you should be or should do and what you're embodying and acting and experiencing in the world around you. One of the biggest causes of suffering in humans is the denial of their own truth, the denial of what they're experiencing. And because experiences become so overwhelming, sometimes they are hard to accept because they are complex and they require your ability to understand them. Oftentimes we have mental laziness that intimidates us. Laziness is a result of fear. It causes a paralysis in which we don't feel inspired to dive deeper into those emotions that are causing the suffering. But if you take one step back and begin to look at the same experiences without judging them, and a tremendous amount of weight is lifted from yourself, not only physically but energetically. And in this way, you have the ability of navigating each experience with now free will. Anything other than that awareness is just a mechanical reaction from everything that you know and everything that you've learned in your life. And many of those experiences are informed by choices and decisions that our parents or our guardians or those around us have taken in the same internal battle, the unconsciousness of when they can apply their free will. The majority of us are not aware of when and how we can apply that. But the only way that we can do that is through the management and awareness of those emotions and the choices that we make. The impact that each one of our choices make is incredibly important in co-creation. Every single subconscious thought is actually creating, and in fact every intention that we have is creating. So if we continue to embody this unconscious creation, in fact we end up counter-creating and creating based on the subconscious belief as opposed to the real intention and what is best for the whole. But how can one know what is best for the whole if one doesn't even know or can handle understanding their own emotions? This is where we begin to enter the conflict of the mind, and where the soul now has to strengthen themselves in creating a strong foundation of trust within their intuitive engines in which they can navigate these experiences in a way that's congruent with the heart. The heart center is the center of manifestation, of creation. And the more that we disconnect the two, the mind and the heart, this is the disassociation that is now embodied in the physical. This is another expression of duality in which the mind and the heart are separate. In order to embody your highest self, in order to embody and grow your inner light, these two must be congruent at all times. And any compartmentalizing or separation that can cause disassociation is occurring between these two. So the union of those two is the same thing as the feminine and masculine within the body that begin to work together in order to create an environment of peace and congruence. So in this meditation, I'm going to lead you through a practice where we're going to begin to work on any of those aspects of ourselves that are not congruent between the mind and the heart, and provide a safe space for you to no longer have to be living outside, hovering above your body, hiding from feeling emotions, from being overwhelmed by feelings that we feel that we cannot understand or accept. And it is a process that takes step by step so that you can nurture yourself in the process of accepting all that is. Because denial is one of the biggest self-destructive tools that we can use to really break down into this disassociation of mind and heart. It's difficult now. We're going into stages in the world where there is a lot of conflicting things happening, things that we rather not experience, things that we cannot believe are happening, that we feel are unjust and that are causing harm to many people. But we are moving through the typical cycles of evolution in which, in order for an organism to heal, all of that infection has to come out. It has to be cleared in order for there to be renewal, cleansing, healing for the organism. And so we're going through that phase at this time. How we contribute as a part of this whole is by clearing ourselves and embodying that light, embodying that health, that vitality, that creation self that now contributes to the creation of the whole organism, and therefore moving through these timelines of suffering and pain as easy as possible. So this is something that some doubt is possible, and if we look at historically through the different phases of evolution of the earth, we see that there have been high rises and falls of these evolutions of intelligence. But where we begin to have a fall is where there is an imbalance, a disconnect between the technology, between the mind and heart, between the soul of the earth and the creator. And so this is where the congruency needs to occur. Everything is as above, so below. We are tied to this organism, the Mother Earth, as a part, and we are an extension of that, just as the Earth is an extension of this multiverse. Each organism is operating and moving through the universe, either creating or destructing. So through our bodies, through our own healing, it is mirrored within the collective. This is why our healing and our personal internal work is incredibly important in helping us navigate the next 10 years, and particularly the next 5 years as this cleansing continues. The human body is a complex organism that is meant for creation. Anything that brings it out of that balance goes into self-destruction mode and ultimately elimination. In order to embody health in the body, immune system, there are many systems that come into play that are both electrical, chemical, biological, physical, emotional, energetic. And it's important that we educate ourselves on how all of these systems operate and contribute to our healing, because they are all interconnected with our thoughts, with our emotions, with our actions, and with our very deep, even the unconscious. What is in the unconscious is coming up now. So let's begin our meditation. In this meditation, we're going to focus on connecting with our multidimensional body, and we're going to navigate what we feel within that space so that we can activate our intuition and begin to look at where we are finding this incongruency in our energetic field. Let's begin. We're going to start by inhaling deeply and exhaling. With every breath you take, allow yourself to come into a state of complete relaxation. And we're going to start with the toes. I want you to bring your full awareness to the toes, bringing the full awareness to the ankles, to the shins, the calves. For those of you that are used to having entertainment and social media, This part of the meditation will be very difficult for you because many aspects of yourself will want stimulation. So I ask that in this moment, in the beginning of this meditation, you take the time to nurture yourself through any resistance that may come up as you connect with your physical body. You're going to go up to the knees, up into the thighs, into the hips, up into the solar plexus. And in the solar plexus, in the center core, this is where we tend to hold on to the majority of our emotions. So breathing deeply, becoming aware of the emotions that are there within the body, and relaxing, releasing any muscles in the lower back, in the front abdomen, the sides, going up into the chest, going up into the back. As you begin to relax your shoulders, your arms, the palms of your hands, breathing deeply, going up into the head, into the face, breathing deeply. Now that you're fully connected to your body, become aware that this body, this incredible intelligent organism, is the creation of health within your body. When you grow your light, when you expand your field, you are not in resonance with things that cause illness, death, and disconnect. Breathing deeply with every breath you take your attention to the center core of the body. And from the center core, you begin to see a field of light that revolves around your body, projecting out. You're going to take this field of light from the solar plexus up into the heart chakra and visualize expanding your light all around you from the center of the heart out. All around you, as bright as you can, 360 degrees, this beautiful light revolves around you. And with every breath you take, as you expand this light more, you begin to realize that there are even more rings of light around you, 7 layers. Begin to connect with the 8th. Breathing, feeling grounded, feeling fully connected to your whole body as you do this practice. This is not just an imagination. You are tapping into the information of your multidimensional expression. Go into the 9th. The 10th layer. The 11th. See all of the layers that revolve around your body. 13 layers in total expand around you. Spheres within spheres that are surrounding your body. And now that you're here within these spheres, I want you to go, starting with the first sphere, beginning to notice for any kind of blockages, any objects or shadows or lights that may appear within the first field. This will indicate to you the information that you're holding on to in the root chakra. So with every breath you take, go ahead and visualize clearing out that first field around you. making sure that your sphere around you is completely solid. And you're going to begin by working with your chakra system, starting with the root. Go ahead and visualize closing that chakra all the way down to the size of a dime. The root chakra. Breathing. The second chakra, the sacral, underneath the navel. Go ahead and visualize shrinking that chakra all the way down to the size of a dime. Breathing. Go up to the third chakra in the solar plexus. Go ahead and visualize closing that chakra all the way down to the size of a dime. Breathing. Go ahead and tap into the second layer, the second field, and clear out any debris that is within the second field. This is the sexual energy of the body, creation, life force energy, the exchanges with people, places, and things. Notice how the exchanges are occurring, and you can begin to review exchanges that you've had over the past couple days to begin to notice, are those exchanges balanced? Go ahead and take a look at that. Are your relationships balanced? Notice that. And any imbalances in your relationships will show up here within this second field. So as you see the memory come up, locate it on your field, and notice if it is imbalanced, if it's lighter or darker. If it's darker, turn it to light. Close that space. If it's open, heal it, seal it. Work on your multidimensional body. Notice if you have any cords in your body and you're going to want to pull them out consciously, letting go, releasing, accepting, forgiving the self, consciously releasing without guilt, without shame, giving back whatever you took on from the other person. And as you remove the cords from your body, becoming aware of how they're entangled in many different aspects of yourself, and cautiously removing each one of those threads out of the body. Going up now into the next field, the fourth field of the body. This is the heart center. The solar plexus. And the solar plexus has to do with your emotions. So notice any strong emotions that are based in anger, resentment, fears. Mostly anger. Feelings that we are helpless cause anger. The root emotion of helplessness is anger, and then fear. So notice these emotions in the body. Where have we been feeling helpless in our lives? Where have we been feeling that we don't have power, that we don't have choice? Go ahead and check your field, your third sphere around your body. Do you have cracks? Do you have openings? Go ahead and repair them. Close them. Pull out the cords from your body, from people, places, and things that are siphoning that life force in the exchanges that we have had that revolve around the feeling of helplessness, of anger. Notice how much of your energy is outside of your body in this field. Notice how much you give out and how much you're not receiving. All of that weakens your field. All of that weakens your life force and your immune system. So this is the area in which I want you to navigate and make sure that you're healing all areas that are open, that have cords that are torn in your multidimensional body. With every cord that you pull out of your body, you're calling back your life force into your body and releasing letting go of what doesn't serve you. Repairing the third field of the body. As you bring your energy back into your body, notice how the tension in the body begins to change. Breathing deeply, going up into the heart chakra. This is the fourth layer of the body now. Go ahead and scan that field. This is where our relationships, anytime our relationships, the feelings that we have about love, those special people in our lives, taking a look at that and our self-worth. Do we feel worthy in our life? Are there moments where we feel unworthy, not good enough, not enough? Notice that in your field. Check all of the cracks, all the openings, all the tears that are in your multidimensional body. Heal them. Pull out those cords. And this is a good time for you to notice where those cords are connecting to, who they are connecting to. People, the images and memories are incredibly important for you in this process. So notice the memories and the images that come up for you as you do this job. Those are the ones that you're going to want to dive in deeper. And if you like, you can have a pen and a paper in front of you, and you can take note of them, and you can jot them down. Anyone that you find is coming up in your memories and your thoughts as you do this work, notice that. Breathing deeply, repairing the fourth field. When this area is damaged, when there is a lot of cracks, when there is a lot of tears, when there's a lot of cords in this space, it's hard for the human to love. It's hard for the human to feel love, and it's hard for the human to embody love. And not just the love that is superficial. We're talking about the profound, true, unconditional love that the body is needing to feel. That is the secret to health and a long life. Longevity, vitality, and well-being is the ability how your organism embodies unconditional love. If your body is not capable of embodying unconditional love, then it's going to be ill, it's going to be destructive, it's creating counter creations. Patterns, you're living by mechanical patterns from your ancestral lineages that you're repeating over and over again. So your ability to embody unconditional love is actually the secret to activating the DNA, this holographic system, into its highest superpower. So go ahead and take a look at that fourth field, making sure that it's absolutely repaired all around. Breathing deeply. Any cords that you cleaned out, breathe back in your life force into the body, and just imagine that you're spinning that heart chakra, bringing it back in, growing your inner light, enhancing your highest expression. You're going to go up into the throat now. Go ahead and go into the fifth layer. Okay, go into the fifth layer. And you're going to start tapping into the projection of the fifth field. As you look around, you go ahead and tap into that. This is your communication, your expression. Are you asking for your needs to be met without fear, without anxiety, without resentment, without anger? Are you able to communicate and express yourself in a place where you are holding your space and owning your space, as well as respecting those of others? Take a look at that. Where is it hard to speak your truth? Do we feel that we're not being heard? Do we feel that our power lies externally, that the permission for us to act lies externally? Do we see that when we want to communicate and express, we become blocked in some way because we give away our power? Take a look at that. Take a look at your field. Where have we manifested this in the multidimensional body? Notice if you have cracks. Throat problems, any kind of complications in the throat area, health issues in the throat. All of these areas are linked to our ability to express. And this expression is congruent with your highest self and the self, the physical self. So wherever there's, again, that disconnect between the mind and heart, this is expressed through the body, through the way we communicate. If we are really seeking love, but all we can do is seem angry and aggressive or maybe insecure, and the expression ends up coming out all wrong with people that we love the most, this is a good moment to take a look at why that happens and bring our power back into the body so that we can communicate from a place of self-acceptance and complete truth, complete authenticity with ourselves and those around us. And usually when we communicate with the most authenticity, the heartfelt authenticity that's not coming from fear, it is usually expressed as wisdom, and therefore speaks to the deepest part of the person we are communicating with. So this is the kind of higher communication that we want to tap into at this time. It is more than just verbal, it is energetic. It is multidimensional. Going up into the third eye. Go ahead and tap into the third eye. So anytime we have self-doubt, anytime that we are criticizing others or ourselves, we are not acting from intuition, we're just acting from fear. We are observing through the eyes, and we are applying meaning that is limiting to what we're experiencing. And our vision is more than just our two eyes. It is our intuitive eye, which has the ability of informing us even more information than what meets the eye, what we're seeing through our two eyes. And so that is actually a higher level of communication that is required for this multidimensional body in order to activate our abilities to heal, to manifest, to love, and to create, to co-create in the world around us. So that third eye activation, the ability to trust what we are sensing, what we're feeling, what we know, this is one of the greatest disservices that we do to ourselves in order to destruct the ability of the human to come into its superpowers. We must trust that intuitive aspect of ourselves and embody that highest expression. This is who we are, and this is what we want to become. So this is where we want to embody that aspect of ourselves and have the feminine, the masculine aspect of ourselves speak to one another, the analytical with the intuitive. That's how those two are expressed. So wherever there's disconnect between the analytical and the intuitive, if we're battling in those areas and we're expressing that in all areas of our lives, we're going to continue to meet resistance in the way that we manifest and the way that we intuitively connect to one another. So this is incredibly, incredibly important. Breathing deeply. Breathing deeply. Going up into the crown now, repairing any kind of cracks that we have in the crown body. The crown body is the center of manifestation. This is what filters our reality and also shifts our reality. So if we're not consciously creating here in this crown, we are always in the lower realms, in the lower physical realms, where we are based on our basic desires and unconscious behaviors. So we want to try to operate from the higher levels of intuitive action and connection to our highest expression. So go ahead and visualize tapping into that crown field. Notice if you have any cracks in that space. That's your spiritual work. It's the gateway to the spiritual. We're going to go up now into the ninth, activating the ninth, healing the ninth. Healing the 10th. This is our dream times, where we begin to enter up into the higher realms of the non-physical. So just notice where anytime that we have dreams or anything that take us out of balance with what we're seeing in the other dimensions, this is where the trauma lives. So in the 9th, 10th, 11th dimension of our physical body, the multidimensional body, that's where we store those memories. So if we have missing time, if we have memories that we can't remember, this is where we can access them through our meditation. So while you're meditating here, just tap into the information that you tune into in this area and notice where there are any cracks. This is where we're going to find contracts with any lower entities, like any of the lower manifestations of ETs or entities or beings that we don't want to resonate with. Those experiences that connect us to those realms lie here in this space. This is where those contracts live. So this is where we want to begin to clear those out. Go ahead and take a look at your field and clearing out any kind of those contracts and blockages that you find there, pulling out those cords. And they're going to be a lot heavier, a lot thicker, and they look more like artificial intelligence, but it's organic artificial intelligence. So go ahead and visualize pulling those out, and you might find that a lot of those are in the cerebral cortex going down to the spine, because it's maneuvering our holographic projection and how we create, either blocking our ability to remember activity with them, or manipulating somehow emotionally how we are experiencing them. So go ahead and visualize pulling out any cords that you see within the spinal cord and the cerebral cortex in this space. For some of you, it might feel like a big black gooey blob of information. All of that is valid. All of that is important. Don't ignore what you see there. Every single one of our fields should be light, clear, open flowing. Anytime that we experience difficulty visualizing, or we just want to kind of zone out and not focus on some area, it means that we need to focus on that area. And keep that in mind when you're working with all of the other layers as well. Okay, 10th, 11th, going up to the 12th. Now you're going up to the Akashics. Okay, this is where you can tune in to past or simultaneous lifetimes. This is where we're tuning into information of our simultaneous timelines that we are merging or tuning into in dream times or in astral projection, and also in our hypnotherapy or regression work. We are tuning into information. Remember that everything that you see here is like a fractal. It's repeated over and over again in many different ways. So as soon as we understand our unique key, the purpose of our life, why we're here, we begin to understand why we have certain patterns in the relationships that we have with ourselves and others. So this is a really powerful way to get to the root cause of those repetitive patterns and breaking them once and for all. And the way to break them is through awareness and to training yourself to do the opposite of what has been done through ancestrally, through that trauma. Anytime there's a resistance to live, a resistance to be who you really are, a resistance to embody your highest, most powerful expression, this is where you will find all of those blockages. So go ahead and search any gunky, sticky, gross, heavy energy that is within this field. This is where you will find that. So go ahead and clear that out. And finally, we go up into the 13th dimension, and this is the gateway into the highest level of our highest self, connecting up to source. And of course, we are connected infinitely through all levels of the multidimensional quantum field. So in the 13th dimension, this is where your higher soul is available for you. This is the wisdom, the highest wisdom. So go ahead and look at that field anywhere where you feel any interferences. Usually it'll feel like holes, or it'll feel like static energy, but of a higher color light. Just go ahead and notice that. And what you want to do is you want to change any static energy into soft, smooth, flowing energy in that 13th dimensional plane. That's usually how you're going to feel that information coming through. It's not going to be as heavy as the ones in the lower fields, as you have experienced here with me today. The ones in the lower fields are really physical, like we can really feel it in the body, we can feel it leaving the body. But as you get to the higher dimensional planes, the energy is more frequency. So what you want to do is move it from disorganized into an organized state, and that's what you're doing in those higher realms. So just scan your 13th layer and just bring any kind of disorganization, any static, any erratic or jumbled energy back into a state of calm peace, like a calm, serene lake of water. This liquid form is very sensitive to any movement, but it also, once it's flat, it's completely beautiful and sealed, and it just moves fluidly. That's what that energy field looks like. So go ahead and tap into that 13th and just bring it back into a state of peace, calm, and serenity. Excellent. Amazing work. I want to invite you guys to come back into the room. You guys did such an amazing job. Wow, I know I certainly feel a million times better right now, because you can really feel. Now, I do this work every single day, but even if I do it every single day, even if I do it throughout my day, this is something that you can do starting today, and it's going to be the foundation for the work that we're doing for the next few days, the next 30 days. So begin to work with your energetic field here. Now that your eyes are open, I want you to ground yourself down to the center of the earth. Just anchor in all of that light that you're connecting up to source. Bring that source energy through the channel that you've created through the center core of your body. This is the most important central cord that connects your heart, your spinal cord, all of the main energy centers that are projecting into your fields, into the spheres that revolve your body, that are creating your reality. So bring that source light down, and we're going to be using the next 30 days to grow this light. Right now, I want you to notice how wide is that thread of light moving through your body. Is it very thin? Okay, we're going to grow it. We're going to grow it until it's really big at the end of this 30 days. So join me on this journey. Go ahead and visualize your sphere around you, owning your space, and embody love. And I hope you have an incredible day today, the rest of your day, and you practice and join me on this journey. All my love. Please put your questions down below. Don't forget to subscribe, and please get tickets for WisdomCon, the conference that I'm putting on about wisdom from all around the world, so that we can take all of those beautiful seeds of information, of wisdom from these incredible star brothers and sisters that are here to share with us the information on how to bring ourselves into the next step of our evolution, mind, body, soul, and the material world, so we learn how to navigate in these next 5 years. WisdomCon.com, check it out, and get some tickets, and I will see you there. All my love. Bye-bye.